is run by a bunch of investment bankers, and their modus operandi.
Morningstar in Spain, and today I'm joined by Christophe Morel. Christophe is the chief economist at Groupama Asset Management. Christophe, thank you for being here.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
Thank you. My first question, Christophe, is about, what everybody is talking about, the global recovery. Do you think that 2014 will mark this inflection point in the global recovery?
The answer is yes. We expect a global recovery, and the positive news is that it's a synchronous recovery, meaning that we experience this recovery in almost all developed countries, in the US, in UK, even in Japan, and in Eurozone. And unless you have shock, the momentum is positive, and the short-term economic outlook is positive. However, this recovery will be unusual, usual for one point and unusual for the second point. Usual because we do think that this recovery will be led by the US, and particularly we do expect, let's say, the comeback of the US consumer. Second characteristic is that this recovery will be different for some countries. Particularly, we may be slightly disappointed in the Eurozone and slightly disappointing in some emerging economies. So something which is very heterogeneous, and so it implies that the specific risk is and will come back.
Okay, you say that we will see a global recovery unless we have some shocks. Let's talk about these shocks, and what type of risk are you anticipating or seeing in this global recovery?
So you have negative risk, but we may have also positive risk. Negative risk, I think that the main negative risk is the same as the risk we experienced last year, meaning that if we have a sharp and sudden increase in interest rates. In that case, it implies a deterioration in financial conditions, and at the end of the day, that's not positive for the economic outlook. That's probably the main risk. Beyond that risk, you can have some political uncertainties in Eurozone or political uncertainties in some emerging economies. On the other side, you have also positive risk. And I think that the main positive risk is that if we have an oil price decline, a decline in commodity price, if we have such decline, we have to revise on the upside our forecast. So for the time being, oil price is stable, so it's we say it's neither negative or positive, or we say it's not enough to invalidate the cyclical bounce that we experience in developed countries.
Okay, let's jump to the practical or to a practical recommendation for the investor. With this view, what should the normal investor do with his or her portfolio?
Imagine a world where you have growth. It's not great growth. It's more than last year. Keep in mind that the growth we expect around 3.5 world growth this year. So it's not great compared to the growth we experienced before the financial crisis. Before the financial crisis, the global world growth was between 5 and 5%. But that's positive news. So imagine a world where we have growth, and in the same time you have monetary policies that will remain very accommodative. Such environment remains supportive for risky assets. In other words, what I do think is that if you have an investor, do not fight leading indicators, and they are positive, and do not fight central banks, any central bank, not only the Fed, but any central bank. So in such environment, I think it's positive for risky assets, particularly for equities, but also for corporate spread, and eventually for European peripheric debt.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Christophe, thank you very much for these views on these global markets and this positive view for the global recovery. Thank you very much.
Thank you, it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
is run by Chinese investment bankers, and their modus operandi